Plenty to get to. There are major developments in the coronavirus crisis this morning. The global crisis has infected the royal family. Prince Charles testing positive overnight. A ninth Australian has died from COVID-19 as the number of infections across the country soars past 2,400. New South Wales is the worst hit, accounting for close to half of all cases. But that's just a drop in the ocean. 435,000 people worldwide are now infected and more than 100,000 have recovered. Queensland borders are now closed as tough social distancing restrictions come into force. And another weapon added to the country's arsenal, more Australians can now get tested. We have team coverage tracking the pandemic this morning. First to that major news on the royal family. Prince Charles testing positive for the coronavirus. Nine's Europe correspondent Ben Avery is in London. Ben, the heir to the British throne in lockdown.
Yeah, Carl, big news. We know that he started feeling symptoms on Sunday. He was diagnosed yesterday. It has now been confirmed by Clarence House. I'll read you part of a statement they've now released. It says he's been displaying mild symptoms but otherwise remains in good health and has been working from home throughout the last few days as usual. Obviously, questions now, where did he get this disease from? Well, he attended a number of events over the last few weeks. There was an Australian bushfire relief fundraiser on March 12. 2 days before that, though, he did attend an event with Prince Albert of Monaco. And as we know, he has since been diagnosed as well, so possibly a link to that event. Now, obviously, a lot of concerns now about the Queen. They've been addressed by Buckingham Palace in a statement. That statement says the Queen last saw the Prince of Wales briefly on the morning of the 12th of March and is following all of the appropriate advice with regard to her welfare. She remains in good health. Now, as for Camilla, Charles's wife, she has also been tested. We're told that result has come back negative. Carl?
Ben Avery, thank you.
There's traffic mayhem at the border of Queensland and New South Wales with drastic new restrictions now in effect. Jessica Millwood joins us from the checkpoint at Coolangatta on the Gold Coast. And Jess, incredible scenes there this morning.
Absolutely amazing, Ali, especially for someone that grew up down here. We've never seen this before. Today is a history-making day. At 12:01, the Queensland borders closed, and this is the scene this morning with people that need to come across from New South Wales into Queensland for work purposes. There are exemptions for work, and I tell you what, most of the people I've spoken to this morning, that is their purpose. But the police officers here are stopping drivers. They are asking them, what is your purpose for coming into Queensland this morning? If it is not essential, people are being told to self-isolate for 14 days. Some people are frustrated, most, though, are understanding. What do you think about all of this? Pretty crazy, isn't it?
It is. I took the wrong turn. I'm going to New South Wales.
I'm running late for work.
Didn't expect the wait to be that long?
No, not really. I thought the highway was open.
It's got to happen, doesn't it? So if it helps, it helps.
For people that live in New South Wales and work across the border, they will be able to jump online and fill out an application, a border pass. We weren't expecting that to be up and running for a few days, but I can tell you, Ali, this morning I've had a couple of friends that have logged on and they have been able to successfully get that border pass.
Yeah, such strange scenes. Thanks, Jess.
The virus outbreak has now claimed the life of a ninth Australian. Nine's Reece D'Alessandro is in Toowoomba in Queensland's Darling Downs. Good morning, Reece. This man contracted it on one of the infected cruise ships.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. 68-year-old Gary Kirstenfeld was aboard a Royal Caribbean cruise ship, the Voyager of the Seas, which docked in Sydney. We understand he began to feel unwell, was diagnosed with coronavirus and was in the intensive care unit here at Toowoomba Hospital. The Toowoomba local sadly succumbing to the virus yesterday afternoon. Family and friends, including friends he made on the Voyager of the Seas, have been paying tribute to Gary online this morning, describing him as loving and kind. We understand his wife and some members of his family are in self-isolation as they deal with this devastating news. Queensland Health has confirmed to us that Gary had an underlying serious medical condition. We understand that is some sort of chronic respiratory condition which put him behind the rest of us in terms of being able to fight off the coronavirus. A tragic thought to think that only 10 people will be able to attend Gary's funeral. Some devastating news out of the Darling Downs this morning, Alex.
Reece D'Alessandro, thank you.
Only 10 people at a funeral, that is so hard. Well, more Australians can now be tested for COVID-19 as the government works to protect those on the front line of the coronavirus fight. Nine political reporter Kerry Axley joins us now from Canberra. Kerry, this will apply to high-risk groups. Who are they exactly?
Carl, they're all health workers or anyone who works in an aged care or residential facility. They can be tested if they have fevers or other symptoms of COVID-19. If you are in an area where there is deemed to be a higher risk of the disease in the community, a localised geographical area, then you can also get tested if you have symptoms. This is decided by local health authorities. Potentially also people who are in what's described as a high-risk setting, so remote Indigenous communities, detention centres, jails, boarding schools, military bases. This was before a meeting of the Prime Minister and Premiers last night. They have also decided to suspend all non-urgent elective surgery across the country, but the deadline for private hospitals for semi-urgent surgeries is extended till April 1. Carl, National Cabinet will meet again tomorrow.
Kerry Axley, thank you.
Stage 2 of the coronavirus shutdown has come into effect this morning, but Victoria is considering ramping up restrictions to a statewide lockdown. Today, Melbourne reporter Christina Hearn joins us now. And Chris, the state is threatening to go it alone.
Yeah, that's right, Ali. I mean, Daniel Andrews says he doesn't want a situation that spirals out of control like Italy. So reportedly, he's going to introduce stage 3 restrictions if necessary before any other state. Just when that will be and what it will look like, we don't know. The Premier says he will discuss it at the time. But it certainly would mean probably the end for retail, the sector to shut down. I mean, already major shopping centres resemble ghost towns because customers aren't there, and so shops have shut down. Major retailers like Saba, Sportscraft and Rivers have already closed their doors. The Police Association is calling on the Victorian Premier to declare a state of disaster. That would give officers more powers to impose things like self-isolation. Speaking of, more than 200 police personnel are currently in quarantine after exposure to a person with COVID-19. Ali?
That is bad news. Thanks, Chris.
The first special shopping hour for emergency services is just getting underway at Coles to help workers on the front line secure essential products. Today, reporter Sarah Stewart is in Epping in Sydney's northwest. Good morning, Sarah. Doors there have just opened.
Yeah, that's right. We saw about maybe 30 or 40 people lined up waiting to go in at 7 o'clock, and I went along the line and just asked them what they did for a job. And I met doctors, I met radiologists, I met nurses, I met midwives, I met some paramedics and a police officer. And I literally just said thank you to all of them for what they are doing. And once the doors opened, they all went inside. No one's come out yet, so hopefully that means that, we just had the first person come out. Hopefully that means that they're getting the supplies that they need. Obviously, they're working so hard to look after all of us. And we also now know that overnight, the supermarkets have now been approved to open 24 hours a day to trade. So we're going to see perhaps a lot more people coming at different times of the day over the next weeks or months. Alex?
Welcome news from our supermarket. Sarah Stewart, thank you.
Yeah, good thing we're looking after our health workers, isn't it? Well, Queensland could be the next state to end the school term early after crisis talks between the state government and the Queensland Teachers Union. One of the options being considered is for pupil-free days to kick in from Monday, giving teachers time to prepare for term 2. New South Wales schools remain open despite 15% attendance. Its Teachers Union now calling for closures. On a lighter note, and Bindi Irwin has tied the knot, sharing an intimate photo on her Instagram page. The 21-year-old and partner Chandler deciding to bring their special day forward ahead of strict coronavirus measures. The couple married at Australia Zoo yesterday, of course, surrounded by close family and friends. Weddings are now limited to no more than 5 people, and we wish them all the very best.
Sure do.
Right. Do you think maybe, I think they may have done a deal for the wedding?
Yeah.
Looking at all the white umbrellas.
So cynical. It's a
No,
wedding.
that's not being cynical. I mean, good luck to them.
Light
I mean,
and bright, light
absolutely.
and bright.
They're quite close there.
Oh, good luck to you guys.